All right, so ready to decode some flirting signals.
Always up for that.
Today, it's all about those subtle hints women drop when they're, interested.
Subtlety is key, isn't it? Keeps things interesting.
Our source material, this YouTube video, calls it, "If a woman does this, she wants you to flirt with her." Sounds promising, right?
Intriguing title. Definitely grabs your attention.
Let's break it down. First up, unique compliments. We all love those, right?
Of course. But what makes them unique in this context?
It's not just nice shirt. It's about her noticing something, specific to you.
Like she's been paying attention. That's powerful.
Exactly. Maybe she compliments your taste in music or how you explain things really well, things that make you, you.
It shows she sees beyond the surface. Those compliments, they hit different, they feel more genuine, more meaningful, and that, my friend, can be incredibly attractive.
Makes you feel seen, right?
Precisely. And that feeling of being seen, of being understood for who you truly are, that's a powerful foundation for attraction.
Makes sense. Okay, next up we've got fishing for fashion advice.
Ah, the classic.
She's got a new haircut, or maybe she's trying on different outfits. Who does she turn to for an opinion?
You, the unsuspecting target of her sartorial inquiries.
And according to this video, it's not always about actually wanting your fashion advice.
It's more strategic than that, wouldn't you say?
Totally. It's an excuse to engage with you, to draw you into her orbit.
Exactly. She's creating an opportunity for interaction, a chance for you to compliment her, to flirt a little. But remember, honesty is still important. She values your opinion, not just empty flattery.
It's a delicate dance, this whole flirting thing.
Isn't it, though? A delicate and often exhilarating dance.
Let's talk about the flirting voice. This one seems like it's straight out of a rom-com montage.
You know that subtle shift in someone's voice when they're talking to someone they're attracted to? It's a real thing.
Wait, seriously, There's actual science behind the flirting voice.
It's all about subconscious signals, my friend. Our voices naturally change when we're attracted to someone. It might be a softer tone, a more melodic quality, or even a slight change in pitch.
So it's not like she's intentionally trying to seduce me with her voice.
Not necessarily consciously, but those subtle shifts are often a dead giveaway that she's feeling something.
Wow, the things we learn on this deep dive.
Yeah.
Okay, the next signal on the list is preening and prumping.
Ah, yes, the art of subtly or not so subtly drawing attention to oneself.
We've all seen it. She's tucking her hair behind her ear, checking her reflection in a window, adjusting her outfit.
It's like a bird preening its feathers, wouldn't you say? An instinctive way of presenting their best self to a potential mate. And it's not just about vanity, though that can play a role. It can also be a sign of nerves, a way of channeling that nervous energy into something physical.
Interesting. So when she's fidgeting with her hair or reapplying her lipstick, it could actually be a good sign.
Exactly. It could mean that you've made an impression, that she's feeling a little flustered in a good way.
I never thought of it like that. This is fascinating stuff. All right, signal number 5 is a classic. The casually single drop.
Ah, yes. The art of subtly slipping your relationship status into the conversation as if it's no big deal.
It's like, oh, by the way, I just happen to be single right now.
Precisely. It's a way of testing the waters without being too forward.
Right. And the video mentioned this idea of plausible deniability, which I thought was really interesting.
It's a clever tactic, really. If the guy doesn't pick up on it or seem interested, she can easily brush it off as just a casual comment. No harm, no foul.
Smooth move. Okay, let's move on to signal number 6, closing the gap. This one's all about physical proximity, right?
It's amazing how much nonverbal communication can be conveyed through physical space.
Right. Like if she's constantly finding reasons to be near you, that's gotta mean something.
Absolutely. It could be leaning in while you're talking, finding excuses to brush against you, or even just positioning herself closer to you in a group setting.
So how do you know if she's just being friendly versus, interested?
That's where paying attention to her body language is crucial. Does she seem comfortable in your personal space, or is she pulling back?
Good point. You don't want to misread the signals and make things awkward.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between showing interest and respecting her boundaries. Which brings us to signal number 7, touchy-feely conversation.
This is where things start to get a little more, shall we say, hands-on.
Indeed. We're talking about those light, playful touches that go beyond the realm of casual conversation.
A hand on the arm, a playful swat on the shoulder.
Precisely. It's about breaking that touch barrier, creating a moment of physical connection.
And the video emphasized that the frequency and duration of these touches matter.
Absolutely. A single fleeting touch might not mean much, but repeated touches, or those that linger for a beat longer than necessary, that's when you know she's testing the waters, gauging your reaction.
It's all about those subtle escalations, isn't it? Okay, on to signal number 8, which I have to say I find particularly intriguing. Mirroring your vibe.
The fascinating phenomenon of mirroring. It's one of those subtle cues that often goes unnoticed, but speaks volumes about the connection between two people.
It's like when you're really in sync with someone, your energy levels match, your body language aligns. It's like you're on the same wavelength.
Precisely. And the fascinating thing is that it often happens unconsciously. When we're attracted to someone, we naturally tend to mirror their behavior as a way of building rapport and signaling our interest.
So if I find myself subtly mimicking her gestures or matching her energy level, it might not just be a coincidence.
Exactly. It could be your subconscious mind telling you that you're vibing with this person.
That's wild. Okay, last but not least, signal number 9, the temperature tell.
This one often gets overlooked, but it can be quite telling.
I have to admit, I was a little skeptical about this one. How can a simple comment about the temperature be a flirting tactic?
It's all about context and subtext. For example, if she mentions feeling cold, it could be a subtle way of hinting that she wants you to offer her your jacket.
I see. It's like a coded message.
Precisely. Or if she says she's feeling warm, it could be a way of drawing attention to her physical presence.
Clever girl.
It's a subtle way of shifting the conversation to a more personal level. Remember, flirting is all about nuance and suggestion.
It's like speaking a secret language.
In a way, it is. The language of attraction is full of subtle cues and signals.
This is eye-opening stuff. Who knew flirting could be so complex?
That's what makes it so fascinating, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like we're peeling back the layers of human interaction and uncovering all these hidden depths.
Precisely. And the more we understand about these subtle cues, the more effectively we can navigate the exciting world of attraction.
Makes you wonder how many times we've missed those subtle cues, right?
Probably more than we realize. But hey, that's what makes this whole exploration so fascinating.
Totally agree. So, we've got 9 signals decoded so far, from those unique compliments to the oh-so-subtle temperature tell. It's like we're cracking the code of attraction, one signal at a time.
I like the way you think. But remember, these signals are just a starting point, a framework for understanding those initial sparks of attraction.
Right. It's not about memorizing a list of rules and then analyzing every interaction like it's some kind of test.
Exactly. The most important thing is to stay present, to be yourself, and let those natural connections unfold.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Authenticity, that's the real key, isn't it?
It's like a beacon drawing people in with its genuine glow. But it's also worth remembering that communication is a two-way street, right? We've been focusing on how women flirt, but men have their own subtle signals too.
Oh, absolutely. Guys, we haven't forgotten about you. So how about it? What are some of the ways men subtly signal their interest?
Let's see, you might notice a guy subtly adjusting his posture, trying to stand a little taller, appear more, shall we say, broad-shouldered when he's around someone he's attracted to.
Interesting. So it's like they're subconsciously trying to project an air of strength and confidence.
Precisely. It's all about those primal instincts kicking in, even if they're not aware of it themselves.
Fascinating stuff. What else should we be looking out for?
Well, eye contact is always a big one, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's something about a lingering gaze that just screams, I'm interested.
Exactly. You might catch him holding your gaze a little longer than usual, or maybe he finds excuses to make eye contact with you across a crowded room.
Those little glances can be electric, can't they? It's amazing how much can be conveyed with just a look.
Absolutely. And often it's those nonverbal cues that speak the loudest. They bypass our conscious mind and tap into something deeper, more instinctive.
This has been such an insightful conversation. I feel like I'm seeing the whole dating game in a whole new light.
The power of observation, my friend. By becoming more aware of these subtle cues, we can become more effective communicators in all aspects of our lives, not just in romantic pursuits.
That's a really great point. It's not just about flirting, it's about understanding the nuances of human interaction, whether it's with a potential love interest, a colleague, or even a stranger on the street.
Precisely. It's about connecting on a deeper level, building rapport, and creating those meaningful interactions that make life so rich and rewarding.
I love that. So To our listener, as you go about your day, pay attention to those subtle cues, those nonverbal whispers that often speak louder than words.
You might be surprised by what you discover when you start tuning into those subtle signals of attraction. And remember, it's not just about what others are doing, but also about being mindful of your own body language.
Right, because we're all sending out signals, whether we realize it or not. It's like we've been given this whole new set of tools to navigate the dating world.
Exactly. And like any good craftsman, it's about using those tools skillfully and with precision.
Well said. This deep dive has been a masterclass in decoding those often overlooked signals of attraction.
It's been my pleasure to explore these fascinating dynamics with you.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has empowered you to be more confident, more attuned, and maybe even a little bit more playful in your interactions.
Remember, those subtle cues are everywhere once you know how to spot them.
So keep your eyes open, trust your instincts, and most importantly, enjoy the dance of attraction.
Well said. Until next time, happy flirting.
And happy decoding.